story today begins in a land far away. There was a beautiful Arab queen by the name of Zenobia. She was married to the king of Palmyra in what is present-day Syria. She became a widow at 36 when her husband and oldest stepson were assassinated. Rather than give the crown back to the next male, Zenobia decided that she would rule Palmyra and take back the lands of Arabia. By the sounds of it, the queen was coming to town. Here comes her loyal soldiers and the general safe, the leader of the army, to inspect them for the queen. Sure enough, the queen, with her lady-in-waiting and major domo, arrived soon after the inspection. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this was no ordinary queen. She was a tough warrior and a very smart woman. She went to battle side by side with her soldiers. She was always generous to her subjects, and the people of Palmyra loved her. And on this occasion, the townspeople were so excited for her arrival that they gathered to welcome her with a dance. For the Arabian Nights. Now, to be honest, the queen was not in town just for a visit. She was there because she wanted to rally her troops up for battle. So she spoke directly to them, saying, "Dedicated soldiers, today we go to battle, and as your queen I will be by your side." And with that, she led them off to war. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Yasmin, the queen's lady-in-waiting, was worried. Not just for the queen, but she was secretly in love with General Saif and was frightened that he'd be hurt leading the battle. Now, Now, days had passed before the soldiers returned back to the castle, and the whole town was worried. When the townspeople had gathered for the day, word had come that the battle was over. They were eager to hear some sort of news. And oh no, Yasmin's worst fear has come true. General Saif was badly wounded. There was blood everywhere, and everyone feared the general was going to die. And ladies and gentlemen, what everyone did not know about Yasmin was that she was the keeper of the special magical lamp. So she quickly brought out her lamp, making sure no one saw her, closed her eyes, rubbed the lamp, and said, "Genie of the lamp, please appear. Genie, please find someone who could save my true love." And in a puff of smoke appeared this man. "Who brings me here?" he asked. "Who are you?" Yasmin said. "I am Ibn al-Nafis, the famed physician of the 13th century." So he quickly explained what she needed. She hurried off to help the general. You see, ladies and gentlemen, Ibn al-Nafis was the first physician to figure out human blood circulation. He was quickly able to use the knowledge to stop the bleeding, and everyone was assured the general would be as good as new. As the physician faded back to his own time, the people looked mystified. Who was that man, and where did he go? The queen looked over at Yasmin with a puzzled look on her face, but for now she was just happy the general was going to be okay. With a wave of her hand, she proclaimed a day of festivity, and the young soldiers gathered to rejoice with a dance. quick note, ladies and gentlemen, there is a Canadian citizenship ceremony going on, so our volume is at a minimum for just this show. So we apologize in advance, but we cannot go higher than the volume currently at. Now secretly, the Queen knew the celebration was temporary. She was taking back Arab land slowly, and this next battle was going to be her toughest. Now when the Queen and her general were discussing the battle plans, Yasmin could not help but overhear them talking. Her heart filled with fear for the Queen and the army, and she wondered what could she do to help. So once again, she took her magic lamp and said, "Oh, Genie of the lamp, please appear. Genie, please find someone who can help my beloved Queen navigate the land." In a puff of smoke appeared this man. "Who are you?" Yasmin asked. "I am Muhammad al-Idrisi, 12th century mapmaker to the King of Sicily. Who brings me here?" Well, Yasmin quickly told him what they needed, and he rushed off to the Queen and pulled out a huge map of the area. After examining the map, the Queen was indeed amazed by the details in the map, but she did cast a suspicious look at Yasmin before using the map and leading her troops out to the next battle. And just like given a feast before him, al-Idrisi went back to his own time. Later that week, news had finally returned back from the troops. They were indeed victorious. And for the first time in early history under the reign of Queen Zenobia, the Arabs took back all the Arab land from Syria to Egypt. And now that they were successful, Queen Zenobia decided it was time to ask Yasmin about the two unusual helpers. So she summoned Yasmin to her side and asked, "What is that amazing magic you used to help us in battle and save the life of the general?" Yasmin reluctantly pulled out her lamp and explained about her love for the Queen and the general. She could not bear for any of them to be hurt or killed. The Queen was impressed with the lamp, thanked Yasmin for her loyalty, and sent her on her way. That night, Yasmin went for a walk. She was feeling both happy and sad. She was happy that the Queen was home safe, but like any young woman in love, she wished to be with her soldier. Now, the Genie had been with Yasmin since she was a young girl, and grown quite fond of her. He did not enjoy seeing her so sad, so he decided to help the situation. So he snapped his fingers, and out from the smoke came an ancient oud player, an originator of Arab music, Ishaq al-Mosli. Now, the oud is considered the original guitar, one of the most romantic sounds in music. Let's listen as he serenades Yasmin. Now at that same time, General Saif was out for a walk as well and heard the lovely music. He went to see where it was coming from. And there stood Yasmin, eyes closed, enjoying the music. When she sensed someone was there, she turned and saw that it was the general. She was so embarrassed, she ran off in a hurry. But for the general, it was a revelation. This was the first time he saw Yasmin for the young, beautiful woman she was. And in that moment, he vowed she would be his wife. Now, of course, Queen Zenobia found out about this moment between Yasmin and the general. She decided to call the general for an explanation. And when the general arrived, he described to the Queen what he saw and how he felt towards Yasmin. She then dismissed him and called for Yasmin now. She asked Yasmin to call upon the Genie, and of course Yasmin said, "Oh, Genie of the lamp, please come out and speak to our beloved Queen." To Yasmin's surprise, Queen Zenobia asked her to step aside so she could speak to the Genie alone. Queen asked, "Oh, Genie of the lamp, did you make General Saif fall in love with Yasmin?" The Genie said, "Of course not. All I did was give him a chance to see her for the lovely woman she was." She nodded and asked the Genie, "Can you help me again in battle?" The Genie replied, "No, my time here is done. I have only one remaining wish, and that is for Yasmin." The Queen thanked him and called Yasmin back. "Yasmin," she said, "I would like to officially introduce you to the head of the army, General Saif." The general proudly walked in, and Yasmin looked quite confused. Yes, Yasmin, the general loves you as much as you love him. And as queen, I decree, if you are willing, we'll have a wedding today. Yasmin was shocked, looking first at the general and saw his ingenuine happiness, then looked at her father, the major domo, who nodded with a smile on her face. Overjoyed, she replied, I'd be honored to marry the general, but today I have no clothes or anything. The queen looked at the genie. Genie said, make your final wish, Yasmin. Yasmin said, oh, genie of the lamp, make me the most beautiful of brides, the most handsome of grooms, and make this a celebration the whole town can enjoy. The last time, Genie snapped his fingers and 3 people came through the smoke. First, an Egyptian woman who was the makeup artist of Zenobia's ancestor, the great Cleopatra. Second, a woman holding the most beautiful of dresses, designed especially for Yasmin. And lastly, a woman holding a tray of delicious food, fit for a wedding feast, or on sale at our food pavilion to your left after the show. So with a wave of her hand, the queen ordered everyone to go and prepare for the wedding of the century. Celebrating not only the wedding, but our first place win for our arts and crafts pavilion to your right, Ammo Elite! You can take pictures with Ammo Walid in the display pavilion to your right after the show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the wedding was everything Yasmin could ask for. The groom entered looking remarkably handsome, and the bride certainly took everyone's breath away. And of course, the queen and her entourage came happy to be part of the celebration. And even our friend Jeannie came out of the lamp to enjoy the festivities. Naturally, the whole town was glad to rejoice in such a wonderful occasion. And you know what comes next. They celebrated with our grand finale of dances. Let's hear it for the Arabian Nights.
شهامي انتي ايام السودة بتضويها ماذا حبيتي اهل الفخامي بدلت بمال العالم نازيها صاحبي بالمال نجيب الكرم